Uh, Okay, everyone, it's 1:30. I want to welcome everyone. If we could get everybody to put their location and their name and the facility in the chat, just so we can keep an ongoing list of who's attended these. First, a few housekeeping items. I want to make sure you are aware your mic is on mute. If it isn't, we may place it on mute, so please don't be offended. We just want to make sure that we don't have any interruptions. This is a really short time to try and cover 2 applications. For any questions, please post those in the chat, and there will be time for Q&A after each segment. If we don't get to answer yours, we will follow up with answers and post those to the webpage. This training is being recorded. Hopefully it's being recorded. Yes, it has, and will be available on our webpage within 48 hours. So this is the first of 8 trainings being offered before the application opens. Today's training is on vehicles and equipment and the meals and equipment applications. Christy Tafoya, our contractor who will be leading the training momentarily, will be joining us, or she is here, she's sharing her screen now. These virtual training sessions are designed to provide you with the knowledge and tools necessary to successfully apply for the 2026 capital outlay funding cycle, which starts January 9th, 2025. Next slide, please. Since joining the team in late April, we've been busy working on establishing open communication with you and your facilities. At any given time, the team is working on 20 to 30 projects each day, reaching out to you to see how we can help your project get to the finish line. This last application cycle that ended, I believe, in June, we had 167 applications started or submitted. Of those, 105 were scored and moved forward to our ICIP. We've already presented at 2 hearings so far before the legislative session starts, which is on January 21st. We also assist many entities with emergency funding. Requests for our senior centers. Many of you have reached out to us to inquire about eligibility. At some point, the process that you're going to review today will also be the process for emergency applications. But at this point in time, there's still a paper. We're still sending you a document for you to complete on your end. Next slide, please. This is currently our Capital Outlay Bureau staff. So we're really excited to bring on board a new team member, Steve Lacey. So I'm Tasha Martinez. I'm the Capital Outlay Bureau Project Bureau Chief. My PSA is PSA 1, and Steve Lacey, he just recently joined us early in November. He's our Capital Projects Coordinator for PSA 2 and 3. And then Lori Zuniga, Capital Projects Coordinator for PSA 4, and Consuelo Montoya, Capital Projects Coordinator for PSA 5 and 6. This is a great slide to do a screenshot, so that way you have that information, but you can also follow and find it at the bottom of our webpage. It should be listed there. Next slide, please. So this, or is that you? Is this one you? I apologize, Christy.
Yeah.
Is this one me?
That's fine. I can take it.
Okay, thank you so much, Christy.
Yeah, thanks, Tasha. So good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the new application portal for aging and long-term services through the Capital Outlay Bureau, which is an application called Bonfire. So we'll be talking to you about that today. We're going to be talking to you about how you enter information about the fiscal nature of your entity, as well as facility information. And the 2 main big topics we're going to talk about are the vehicles and equipment and meals and equipment applications. So that's going to be a bulk of what we're going to be chatting about today. And we're going to be talking about resources and timelines as well. And this one's for you, Tasha.
All right, so we want to make sure that your applications are identifying certain aspects, that there's planning involved in this. For vehicles, we're noticing that there's a delay in getting vehicles. It's gone down from 18 months, but for some places, that's still 18 months to get vehicles, some of the vehicles. We also need to see the need for funding, as well as a need for immediate action. If these are going to be items that can be planned, here's an example. We've been getting a lot of emergency requests for roofs, and we understand that there's a need for those, and we want to assist wherever we can. But we want to make sure that there's planning being involved, so that way these applications can then go to a capital outlay, like this application, and not for an emergency use. So we need to see what the need for immediate action is going to be within the next year. Project readiness, that falls in line with the planning process. We want to make sure that this project is phased. We're getting a lot of feedback from DFA that they want to see projects that are going to be phased, and want to make sure that we are helping you prepare for those and get your projects to the finish line. These can also mean that they might be safety or code compliance. We're now going to be asking what that safety or code compliance is identified, so we can move forward to properly make sure that you're getting the appropriate funding for that. And then we also are going to be reviewing, and have always reviewed, the ability to complete the project. You know, when we're looking at these and scoring these applications, we're looking at your past project history and the viability of this project making it past the finish line. So be aware that that's taken into consideration. Now, that isn't the only thing. So if you've had some hiccups in the past, that isn't going to delay you. It's just something that we look at and take into consideration. Next slide. So the Capital Outlay Bureau enlists a qualified team to, of course, look at our selection and eligible senior center projects. We have different groups. We have DFA that reviews the selection. We have a group from ALTSD that's looking at these. And then we also have a group from the AAAs that's reviewing applications as well. So we want to make sure that your strong application has complete information, including the applicant, the facility, the owners, and funding history. We want strong project narratives. So for many of us, we're visuals, so we can't see what you're talking about with your facility. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to describe to us what this project is going to entail and what the end result is going to be. So please make sure that when we're asking for a project narrative, it at least is a solid paragraph and not just a couple words. That's going to help us be able to identify what's going on with the project and how it can move forward. We also want to make sure that you have a plan for this. We want to make sure that everyone from your fiscal agent to staff at the senior center to, everyone that's going to be involved is prepared for this and is on board, and that you're going to have the certain planning criteria identified to make sure that this is going to make it to the finish line. This falls in line with our timelines. Again, we want to look for completion and ability to complete the project. We do take past history into consideration, but that isn't the final criteria for an application to be moved forward to the scoring. We also are going to be requesting that you make sure you're uploading the quotes and the required documents. Christy will be going through that more thoroughly, but we did have at times where we didn't have the quotes, and I know getting quotes can be difficult. So if your quote should be lasting for at least 6 months. So if you start reaching out now to get those quotes, you should have those in time by the time the application opens.
So these are our 5 areas that the main application bulk is within: the planning and design, new construction, code compliance, renovation, and addition. We're going to be talking about those tomorrow. So we hope that you can join us for a training session tomorrow on those application types. The 2 that we're going to be talking about today are vehicles and equipment and meals and equipment. So these are the category details with regard to each one of these application types. For vehicles and equipment that we're going to be talking about today, of course, vehicles and equipment can transport people or goods, and we give some examples here: minivans, passenger vans, and other types of vehicles, and equipment that's related to vehicles as well. And then, of course, meals and equipment. We know that many of your senior centers are terrific at providing wonderful meals for the senior communities. So we want to make sure that we can provide you with the funding related to cooking and serving food, and also other equipment that you might need to run your senior center. Physical fitness equipment is one of the things that we are pointing out here. So the Aging and Long-Term Services Department Capital Outlay Bureau has been moving into a new application process through an application software called Bonfire. It is intended to make things easier, to streamline processes, not only for you as an applicant, but also for staff at Aging and Long-Term Services. It's intended to make the bid process smoother and to make things a little bit more user-friendly as well. That application will be rolled out January 8th, and things will be opening up right around there. So we wanted to get ahead of time to share as much information as we can with you about this whole process. Tasha, was there anything else you wanted to throw into this area right now?
You know, Bonfire is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to in the past, and I need to reassure everyone this is going to be an easier application process. At first, it may seem a little intimidating. It has been for us, but we've also become really familiar with it. We know you will too, and see the benefits of using Bonfire once we get into it. So don't be afraid. I promise this is going to be a simplified version, and it's going to be easier than the previous applications we've had.
Right. And so things will change. And I think, as Tasha said, the intention is to make it a little bit easier and more streamlined. The application process will be accessed online. And the nice thing about Bonfire is as you're going through, particularly in uploading things into your application area, it will let you know whether or not it's complete. And I'll show you a few examples of that as we go through as well today. And Tasha, I know that you worked really hard to gather information from your applicants and your reviewers to streamline this process. And so I think you've come up with some great ideas.
Yes, I know one that you guys should be excited about is we are not going to require subject matter expert forms. Yes, applause. We know that those were difficult to get completed, and so we wanted to make sure we remove those. We also went through and removed some of the facility information that really is great information for us to know, but isn't pertinent to the application at this point in time. We did add, though, a section for deferred maintenance. We want to make sure that your fiscal agents are providing an opportunity for deferred maintenance, and will be requiring an upload of a document showing that there's funds budgeted to make sure deferred maintenance is going to be in place for that. We also are streamlining the evaluation process. If you've noticed, we've moved the application back to opening in January. This is going to be able to give the team more time to review applications. So that way, if we see any hiccups or any issues, we can reach out to the applicant and move forward so we can get those applications moving to the scored. And then also you will receive notification of an agreement process. I'm thinking that what that's talking about is this last year, we notified all of the applicants whether their application was moving forward for the ICIP or if it had not made it to the scoring, but what the next steps were. We will continue to keep everyone involved posted. And I do know once you complete the application, you will get a notification that you've completed it. So you won't wonder, did it go through? Did it didn't? You know, so this is going to be an easier, streamlined application. Thanks, Christy.
Thanks a lot. So do we have a question somewhere? No, looks like no. Okay. So the nice thing is that there will be an application manual. Some of the things that we're covering today are kind of at a little bit of a higher level, 10,000-foot view. We will be providing you with an application manual and some videos where you're actually walking through every part of the application so that you won't feel alone in this process. The manual will provide step-by-step instructions and we'll have screenshots. So you'll have a lot of reference material and videos as well as these PowerPoints being recorded so that you will have the opportunity to have references and feel comfortable with the application process. So what we're going to be talking about, as I mentioned, are three kind of separate areas. For each one of your applications, you're going to need to be filling out applicant and facility information. You're going to need to say who you are as the applicant, what your facility, where your facility is, what who you are, the fiscal information, that kind of good stuff. You're also going to need to fill out specific applications as to what you're interested in asking for funding about. So today we're going to be talking about vehicles and equipment and meals and equipment. So to start off, we last spoke to you about becoming a vendor in the Bonfire Aging and Long-Term Services portal. This is where you get to put yourself in as an applicant through your vendor information. We know you're not necessarily thinking of yourself as a vendor, but vendor equals applicant. So that's who you are. So you will be going into your Bonfire account, putting in your email address here and the password that you created. If you are interested in more information about applying as a vendor, there is a past PowerPoint that is on the website so that you can see that in the Aging and Long-Term Services Department website. So log in, and then you will be put into an area where you will be able to see all the different open applications. This is an example of an open project for Bernalillo County. Project details here that you can see equals application details. So this is for Bernalillo County. You want to make sure that you have selected the correct county for your application. This provides information as well about this is through the Capital Outlay Bureau. It says when this application is going to be open. You see the open date. This is for a test. This is just a test that we're working through. The open date, the contact information, and the close date, and how long you have to be able to fill this out. So you're going to have a long time frame that you're going to see where this project is open. And there's a description as to what this project is about. So that's kind of the overview page that you're going to see. The important part of that, as you kind of scroll down, you'll see that, here's some information about the status of important events. Further down the page, this is really super important, and I'm going to stress this throughout. If you don't take away anything, this is the one piece you're going to need to remember, is that all of your application question sets are under supporting documentation right here. And you are going to need to download these little templates, and I'm going to show you what they look like for the areas you're interested in. You all will be interested in fiscal and facility information question set. You're all going to need to do that because that will tie to every single application type. And then depending on what you're interested in applying for, and maybe all of these areas, you will need to download each one of these question sets as well. So it depends. If you're interested in meals and equipment, you download here. You just click on that and it will download. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. If you're interested in new construction, you click on download here, and then I'll show you the next steps. Okay? So download your application sets at the beginning, and I'll reference back to this. When you download it, click on download. And then anytime you download a document, you go up to your right-hand corner of your screen and click on this download button, and then it will download an Excel spreadsheet that is a template. And you will click on enable editing, and then you'll save it. So don't forget to save it. Make sure that when you save it, you indicate what your facility name is within whatever you're saving, so that you have a reference, and so does the Capital Outlay Bureau staff, that they'll know what that document is related to. Save it somewhere you can easily find it, and use a project type, identifier, and facility name in the file name. So that's one of the first very important steps. Question sets are going to be where you get to put the bulk of your information about your application. Okay? All right, I'm pausing here for a minute, see if there are questions. Okay. Then you'll have the opportunity to select your project type. You'll actually be able to select which senior center you are, because we've already populated that. So this is for Bernalillo County, and this is an example of Barelas Senior Center. You will need to click on this little box to the side, and if you click it, it'll turn into this little blue arrow, and you'll click on whatever kind of application type you are interested in. So you can see here, facilities, Morellis Senior Center. The service that you're interested in is the meals and equipment one. And for this particular example, the applicant is interested in all of these for meals and equipment, new construction, planning and design, renovation, code compliance and addition, and vehicles. You can see here's an example below it, Bear Canyon. That's not been clicked, so this person is not interested in those. And then you click to step 2 to upload your files. So just remember, select your decisions. That means your facilities and your project types. Okay? The nice thing about this is you don't have to worry about losing your work. If you have to step away for some reason and you have an open application, that's called a work in progress. So for this test that we've got here, the person who was testing, the tester, went to the submissions area and was able to click on work in progress, and it shows the work in progress that is that application. You would just click on actions and click on edit, and you're able to open up your application again. So don't worry about losing your work. It will save within the Bonfire portal. And all you need to do is go to work in progress. All right. So the first section that's going to be important is applicant and facility information. So we want to give you a glimpse into this to start thinking about what you need to collect for your application. Everybody is going to need to fill this information out. Applicant and facility requested information identifies the applicant name, the title, and your basic facility information. It also includes emails. It includes uploads for things like e-signature or letter memos of who is authorized, your current ICIP, the history of your facility, and your fiscal and facility information question set. The first part is going to be basic requested information with your name and title and your uploads that you need to include, which is your e-signature or letter memo, your ICIP, and your history. You will need to complete text boxes and uploads and save each section. So when you put in your name, you click on save. This little red button will turn green and you will have saved that particular section. So that will pop up first. You need to provide your basic applicant information. And then, you will need to go to your question set. So I mentioned your download of your question set. So this is the fiscal and facility information question set. You can take a look at what that looks like. See, that's the instructions page. That's the first thing that you will see. This is the downloaded document that you saved. And then you will take a look. Here's the instructions piece. And the question sets themselves are on this tab at the bottom here that I've highlighted 1 and 2. For this particular question set, this questionnaire, there's 2 question sets. Okay, so you read through all the instructions, and then you click on question set 1, and this is fiscal certification information. You're going to provide your information under this response column, and you will have the opportunity to provide comments in this comment column. In some cases, you will have drop downs. Yes, no, yes, explain, no, explain. You will have opportunities to identify people and individuals who are an important part of your fiscal certification side of things. This is all complete when this is all green here to the right. Tasha, do you want to talk a little bit? I can share a little bit about what these actual questions are. I think it would be good to kind of run through them for folks.
Yeah, so It's really important for this fiscal certification. So many of you are familiar with that. And we were trying to identify the best way we can make sure that each of these applications has been that your agency or your government, county, nation is aware that this application is being submitted on behalf of this senior center. So we are requesting that you upload that. That's going to be the difference. Also, the difference with the fiscal certification is going to be, we want to now ask who the fiscal agent is. We want to make sure we've had a few projects that have switched fiscal agents. And so we want to make sure that we're staying in line with those and have that updated information so it provides it to us as we move forward with your applications. Thank you, Christy.
Sure. So you can see there's 16 questions here, folks. Is your budget filed with the state auditor? Is it approved by the Department of Finance and Administration, Finance Bureau? If so, if not, explain about that. Did you upload your ICIP? And as Tasha said, who's your certifier? And did you upload your letter with regard to your certifying official? And then who's your fiscal agent? So all of that information is included here. Okay, questions on that? Good, okay. And then you will go to the second question set, which is number 2 at the bottom there. This will be what you need to fill out with regard to your facility. All of these are going to look very similar. You're going to have your response column and your comment column. You need to provide your downloads, you need to provide your drop downs, and you need to also fill out your text boxes. This is basic information about your facility. And what's your facility name? What's the ownership? Is it managed by a nonprofit? What are your sources of funding that you've utilized, and what repairs have you made? What's the size of your facility? Is it sufficient in size? Some of these questions you will see that you remember probably if you've applied before. Is the facility multi-purpose, generational? If you have a history, you'll have the opportunity to download that if that's something that you feel is important with regard to your application. So there are 23 questions related to this question set. What sources of funding were used to construct it? What repairs or improvements were made to your facility and when? Is it sufficient in size? What's all of that kind of good stuff. That is what is included in the facility information question set. Make sure that you save it after you're done filling it out. And you can make sure that you're all good. You can go to the summary tab. So that, remember I showed you, this is your instructions tab at the bottom. These are your question sets 1 and 2. So when you're done filling out 1 and 2, you can click on summary and you can make sure that you're all good, 100%. You want to be 100%. If you are not, that's the nice thing about Bonfire. It'll tell you you're not. You're not complete. Okay, so that is your fiscal and facility information. Questions on that? Okay. So I will go over the vehicles and equipment application process. It's kind of similar to what we just looked at. When you go to fill out the vehicles and equipment section, you're going to be presented with this information. It will indicate to you that you need to have a question set that is uploaded. And then you will also need to upload this other information: quotes, estimates for the vehicle purchase, quotes or cost estimates related to project oversight, documentation that there is a budget commitment, and any other additional documents that you feel are applicable. You need to make sure you upload your saved vehicles and equipment question sets, and we'll go over what those questions look like and what that you'll be doing in that area, as well as these other applicable documents. So again, when you get into your question set for your vehicles and equipment, here's the instructions page. You're going to have lots of good instructions. This questionnaire is for purchase of vehicles, and then there's a definition of what that means that's in this. So you're very clear on what that means. Okay, then you go over here and you select your question set 1 tab at the bottom. And this is your question set. You can see that there are 19 questions. I'm going to stress to you, and I know Tasha is going to stress to you over and over again, that the project summary and narrative is very heavily weighted. The nice thing that we've built out in this question set of the application is how much the scoring is, so you will know how heavily weighted some of these questions are. So the project summary and narrative, which is the whole explanation as to what your project is and why it is necessary, it scores for 50 points out of 100. So that's half of your scoring is right here. So there are instructions with regard to the question. Then you have an opportunity to fill out, and more in the comment column is what's going to be better, I think, for you, because you're going to have a lot more room, and you'll have instructions as to how to do this in the question itself. But that's where you can explain all the great things, and there's a very high character limit, so you can put a whole bunch of stuff in there as to why this is super important for you to have these vehicles and this equipment for your senior center. Does the project address a health and safety issue? Is it ready to proceed? These two are very important. They score 10 points each. Listing the type and quantity of vehicles that are to be purchased and the service they'll be providing. That's the actual information with the funding amount that you're requesting. Adding new vehicles in the inventory. Have you asked before, what does that look like? What did that ask happen or not happen? Or, where are you at with your inventory of vehicles? Have you talked to your elected official to get some assistance with regard to vehicles? And does this complete the whole vehicle purchase? And then you'll have the opportunity to break down all of your costs, the vehicle amount, the equipment amount, installation, delivery, all of that kind of good stuff. One thing that is very important is making sure that when you buy this vehicle, if you're funded, that you have the ability to take care of it. And so that's another really important piece of, do you have the ability to continue with the maintenance and keep up with that side of things? And then, did you upload all of the information that's requested? So you'll have several uploads, and you're going to be reminded again in this questions that, did you upload the documents that were requested? Okay. So Tasha, is there anything else in terms of the questions of the question set?
Oh, I think it's pretty straightforward. We're just trying to get enough information from you. And again, we have streamlined, so we hope that this is a bit easier for you to follow. And after this, we would provide, we'll provide like a survey to see what made it easier, if there was any difficulty, so we can always improve for the following fiscal application cycle. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you. Okay. Make sure I'm here. Yes. Okay, and then again, you get to go back to your instructions, your summary. If your summary says 100% complete, then you are in fantastic shape. Okay, it's complete without errors. Again, save it, save it, save it, save it. Make sure you save it. You do need to save it when it's yours in your computer. Bonfire will save your application, but it won't save your question set that you have on your computer. Okay, so remember to save it. So then you make sure, again, I will just stress to you, if you have red dots, that means that this is required information, and if it's red, you haven't uploaded it. You have a yellow dot for additional documents that are optional. Okay, so once you have uploaded all of your documents and you're green, this is for all of your question set, all the documentation that there's budget, all the documentation that you have your quotes, all of everything that you need here, and it's all green. Congratulations, you have completed the vehicles and equipment application. Tasha likes to tell you
Christy, really quick.
congratulations.
Yeah, Christy, I was trying to get Bonfire to figure out how to explode confetti from the screen, but that wasn't possible at this time. But when you get to that page, please know that I am popping one of those streamers for you that you've completed the application.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right. Any questions on vehicles and equipment, folks? All right. Yay. Now we'll talk about meals and equipment. Very similar process. Okay. This is what the meals and equipment question set and uploads section looks like. Again, you have your meals and equipment question set. You have your applicable quotes and cost estimate and upload that you need to have here, and then any other additional documents that you want to upload. You're going to need to upload your saved meals and equipment question set, which I will go through, as well as other applicable documents, which are the applicable quotes and cost estimates. So this is the instruction set for meals and equipment. Goes through everything that you're going to need to provide and in the question set itself. Again, you will tap number 1 here. That's going to be your question set that will pop up. And these are your questions. Provide your information under your response column and comment area where it is applicable. The project summary and narrative is going to be super important. Again, 50 points. Utilizing the comment box, you're going to have a lot more ability to really share your information. Again, saying what you want to buy, why it's important, why it will help your senior center succeed. You know, what's that cost benefit? You're going to also need to answer if you're able to provide ongoing maintenance and repair. You're going to see that come up. Making sure that your senior center can take care of whatever equipment you're purchasing. Did you document that there's budget commitment to ensuring that that will be able to happen? And does this complete the project? And then this is a little bit of a shorter application. So then that's when the costs come in. The total project, what's your request? How much is the equipment? How much is the installation? How much is the delivery? What's the cost projection for annual maintenance? Is it all going to work? You got enough? And did you ask before? And what happened with that? And then have you met with your local officials on this? Is there energy sustainability with regard to this? And did you upload your cost estimates? Okay. So 16 questions. You're 100% complete. Go back to your summary. You're 100% complete. You save your questionnaire. Save it. Always save your questionnaire. And then you make sure once you've uploaded both your question set and you've uploaded your cost estimates and any additional documents, congratulations with the confetti. You have completed that. Now you're not done yet. So once you have your fiscal and facility information, your vehicles and equipment, or your meals and equipment, or both, to finalize the process, you go to the very bottom of the page, and it will ask you for step 3 to submit and finalize. You will click on this button that says, I understand I can't change. You can't change anything once you click on this button, and it turns blue with this little check mark. You click on submit and finalize my submission. You will receive this submission receipt that you see right here that says submission complete, and you'll also receive a confirmation email. So that's the whole process for vehicles and equipment, meals and equipment. Okay, questions at this point? Okay, so here's the timeline. Tasha's got a lot of fun training set up for us to do. This isn't going to be the last time that we do this.
Yes. So as you can see, we have trainings listed through December, through the rest of December and January, leading up to the application open date, which again opens January 8th. It'll close 3 months later. At that time, we will have our committees reviewing and recommendations on the applications. It'll go through a scoring process. Know that if there are any issues, kind of like with this last year's application cycle, if we were missing particular documents or certifying or ICIP, we will be reaching out to those applicants to get that information. We do want to support and help you as much as possible. So after we do a quick review of the applications and see that everything is uploaded, your application will then go to the scoring stage. So then we can move forward and identify if it's going to be moving to our ICIP. And then our recommendations go to the Cabinet Secretary June 30th, 2025, before we start the whole cycle all over again. So we do have a bit of time, but please don't wait to get your application in April 8th. At some point, the trainings will just be available online for you to review. So make sure you're preparing and gearing up to apply first thing, giving yourself an opportunity to get it completed sooner than later. I know that the ICIP this last year was due earlier or around the same time, and it made it really difficult along with budgets. So we want to make sure that we're giving you ample time to complete your applications. We know many of you wear multiple hats and want to make sure that you're going to be submitting the best application possible for your senior center. So just be advised to give yourself an opportunity to start early, start working on those quotes. You don't have to look for a subject matter expert anymore, but we will be requesting some information. So familiarize yourself, get those quotes necessary so you can have a successful application submitted. And then as well, these are going to be the upcoming dates. So tomorrow it will be from 3 to 4:30, I promise. We'll be working on the planning and design, new constructions, renovation, and code compliant applications. These are going to be kind of similar, but I think it would still be great for anybody to attend. Again, these all will be recorded and on the website within 48 hours. So if you can't make one of these, you can always find an opportunity to attend one of our other trainings. We want to make these as simple and easy for you to work with your schedule. We understand everybody is really busy, and we understand that learning this information, especially on a new platform, can be a little overwhelming. So don't hesitate to also reach out to us during our technical assistance hours, which is on every Wednesday from 3 p.m. until 4:30. That'll be a great opportunity for you to ask specific questions if you have any on these applications. Thank you, Christy. This kind of ends our show. So I really want to thank everyone who took the time out of their schedule to be here. We didn't have any questions, but I know you guys have them. So if you haven't yet, please register on Bonfire. That information can be found on our webpage, which is in the chat. Make sure you have that page bookmarked. If you didn't get today's email from our marketing blast, please send me your email in the chat. We'll make sure to add you to our marketing list so that way you're getting all of our communications. And again, thank you so much, and we hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.